What's up, everyone? This is Cheyenne B, and you are listening to 5D Marketing Secrets Radio. So here's the real mystery. How do real spiritual-based business owners like us grow a large following of our soulmate clients who are begging to pay us for our skills and gifts? How do we increase sales and make a contribution while also making a killer income? That is the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Cheyenne Burnett, and welcome to 5D Marketing Secrets Radio. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am so glad to have you back for episode 2 of 5D Marketing Secrets Radio. I actually want to start this episode off by sharing with you a quote I ran across today by the late Dr. Wayne Dyer. If you're not familiar with him, he is an internationally renowned American author and speaker in the field of self-development that I was actually introduced to by one of my clients who is a light worker. And the quote I ran across today was just way too blaring to not mention it based on the message from our last episode. So Dr. Wayne Dyer said, "There is no scarcity of opportunity to make a living at what you love. There's only scarcity of resolve to make it happen." And wow, did that stand out to me, because if you've listened to episode number 1, I made a joke about saying you deserve to be paid for your gifts and services might as well be a swear word. And though I was absolutely making light of it, the truth is so many really amazing spiritual practitioners feel guilty for charging the ones that they help, and that kind of limiting belief has to stop, which is why my passion and purpose has developed into helping you get through that and touching lives. So as we dive into this episode number 2, I do challenge you to be open-minded to the possibility that if you do not charge for your time and your gifts, and if you do not pursue the practice of your 5th dimension passion and purpose here in the 3D as a full-time career, then you are absolutely limiting the number of people you can help. And that limiting belief is what has kept Earth vibrating at a lower frequency until now. It is totally our job, you guys, to make that shift in the collective consciousness. And I do mean our job, as in you and me, because since you're listening to this, the universe is calling on you. It is your time. So diving in, how are the current spiritual leaders and practitioners of our time today manifesting such enormous wealth and abundance that they can actually focus all of their effort and all of their time into helping the ones who seek out what they have to offer? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. They have learned and implemented exactly what I have promised to cover with you in this podcast, which is how to successfully market a spiritual practice with an instant advantage without spending a fortune on ads or sounding super salesy. And to do that, I am actually going to pull back the veil and show you my 3 big 5th dimension marketing secrets. So, secret number 1 is how to 10x your profits by shining above the competition. Secret number 2, how to make more money with less traffic by getting the exact same customers to buy from you over and over. And secret number 3, how to ethically hack Facebook's system so you never have to pay for an ad again. So exciting, right? This stuff is, you guys, oh my gosh, this has been a long time coming, and I have spent so much time and energy and money and everything you can imagine to obtain this kind of information and how to do this successfully. So I'm super excited to share it with you. So let's dive into these in detail one at a time. Secret number 1, how to 10x your profits by shining above the competition. So let me tell you a quick story. In episode 1, I mentioned that when I first got started building my marketing business, I was struggling to find clients who I really enjoyed working with. And honestly, it took me much longer to realize why than I'd like to admit, but that why was the critical turning point in my personal success. You see, I come from great middle-class American roots. I grew up in Alpine, Utah with my parents and younger brother. My dad was in sales and my mom was, and actually still is, a super motivated entrepreneur. So life was pretty normal from the outside until one day when I was in the 6th grade. That morning started just like every other Monday. I woke up and started getting ready for school in my mom's bathroom. I was finishing I was finished a few minutes early, so I just plopped down on my parents' bed to watch cartoons as a normal 10-year-old would, and that's when I realized my bottom lip was tingling. It kind of felt like when your leg starts to fall asleep and you go to move it and that nerve goes crazy. Well, that's what was happening, and I kept touching it. So, of course, my mom asked me what was going on, and I said, I don't know, my lip feels funny. But by the time she asked me about it was definitely time to leave for school. So she said, okay, let's just watch it, and we headed off to school. By the time I arrived in class, though, the tingling had stopped, so I went about getting situated as normal. Then my teacher called me up to her desk, and I will never forget her, Mrs. Tibbetts of Alpine Elementary. She was my home away from home. She always made me feel super safe, and definitely she made me feel that way that morning. I remember the concern in her face as she calmly approached and asked me to smile. So, of course, I giggled and did what she asked, completely unaware that the right side of my face no longer moved. She softly held my hand and she told me she would be right back. She left the room as the other students filed in, so I sat down and I got my things out like normal, but just a few minutes later, she returned and asked me to come with her. By this point, I was pretty confused. I knew something was obviously wrong with my face, because why would she be asking me to smile and then leave the room? But I didn't understand what. I also knew she was super worried, but was trying to hide it. I've always been super perceptive. So together, hand in hand, we walked down to the front office where I took a seat as she stepped into the principal's office. Apparently, they had called my mom because Mrs. Tibbetts said I needed to wait in the office for her and that she needed to return to the class but would come back to check on me. My mom came and, not quite as calmly as Mrs. Tibbetts, said, okay, honey, let's go. Once we got in the car, I finally just asked, Mom, what is going on? And she replied, we're just going to take you to the doctor to get your lip looked at. Don't worry. Well, we didn't go to the doctor. We went to the emergency room where I was immediately taken in to get a CT scan on my brain, since my blissfully unaware 10-year-old self was in fact exhibiting all of the signs of a stroke. So it was a long day filled with testing and tears and lots of hugs. And as the day came to an end, we were met with relieving news that I had in fact not had a stroke. Instead, I had become the youngest patient in Utah to contract what's known as Bell's palsy. It's thought to be caused by an infection that attacks the muscles in your face, which ultimately manifests a paralyzing effect of the nerves. But most medical professionals, and definitely spiritual healers, agree that the real culprit is stress. What most didn't know at the time was my parents were actually on the verge of losing everything. My dad had gotten involved with what he thought was a legitimate investment opportunity that ended up going south and not only wiped out my parents' savings and retirement accounts, but he was actually about to land my dad in prison. So my mom hadn't actually worked in 10 years and she was trying desperately to get back into the workforce. But with outdated skills, it wasn't leaning in her favor either. So needless to say, though they tried really hard, it was apparent that I had absorbed all of the energy and stress circulating in our home, and unfortunately, it manifested in a pretty significant illness. So, right about now, you are probably wondering, what in the world does this have to do with how I can help you shine above your competition? right? And the answer is it has everything to do with it. You see, that experience programmed in me a significant fear of lack of stability that reshaped how I looked at life completely. So much so that I actually unconsciously went on to spend the next decade pursuing only careers and jobs that I could make money at. So that meant I stopped operating from a place of love. I stopped operating from a place of purpose. And I only operated from fear, which meant when it came to picking a career, I never considered what would make me happy or what my purpose in this world was. I only considered what would make me the most money. So I didn't have to feel that literally paralyzing fear again. So, though I had seen significant success financially, my work was leaving me feeling empty. Well, that is until I met Russell Brunson. He's the CEO of ClickFunnels and the man who would later go on to actually be my personal mentor. So Russell actually challenged me to change my focus from how much money can I make to how many people can I help? And that, my friends, is the shift in perspective that changed my life forever. And it's also the basis for secret number 1, how to 10x your profits by shining above the competition. I finally realized that if I was going to really be successful and really find joy in my work, I needed to quit making it about me. I needed to figure out exactly who I wanted to help or who I was called to help, why I wanted to help them, and then make it my primary focus to bring them the success and joy that they deserve. So my partner and I sat down and we started listing out all of the qualities of our ideal client. Who are you? Where do we find you? And how do we help you? And that was how 5D Marketing Secrets was born. Now, you might be thinking it sounds easy enough to make a list of all the things that you would want in a perfect patron, but how does that help you shine above the competition, right? What I had to learn and what you need to understand is that you have a unique skill set and a gift that is not going to speak to everyone. Thank God, because that means there is a unique person who only your message and your voice will speak to. So don't worry about how to attract as many paying customers as you can, and start worrying about how to find the ones who only you can help. When I switched my focus to specifically who am I supposed to be helping instead of who will pay me, all of a sudden a massive shift in my energy occurred, and my message began to radiate the brightest light to the ones who need me the most. It really is amazing what we can create when we get really clear on who exactly we are supposed to help and how. So seeing my business from this new perspective finally crushed the belief I had that I couldn't make a lot of money by pursuing my 5th dimension purpose. And I was finally able to see that that is actually the only way to manifest real wealth and joy. And I'm really excited to share more of this with you. So if you like this episode's secret behind marketing from the 5th dimension, then subscribe and stay tuned as we dive into the next secret in episode 3, how to make more money with less traffic by getting the exact same customers to buy from you over and over. And check out 5dmarketingsecrets.com. That's the number 5D marketing secrets spelled out.com, because there is a complete 7-page report titled 7 of the Most Powerful Marketing Strategies for a Spiritual Practice in 2019 that I am giving away completely free. In the report, you'll find, as always, I am totally open and transparent as I pull back the curtains and show you the things big marketing companies don't want you to know that you can do without them. I truly believe the world is in desperate need of our help, and by following our 5th dimension passion and our purpose, we can actually increase the vibration of Mother Earth one spiritual message or service at a time. There is definitely a reason you're hearing this message right now, and I am absolutely excited to hear about how many people you are able to help by benefiting from me helping you. So please remember to subscribe and leave feedback for me. And if there is a specific question you would like me to answer live on the podcast, then go to 5dmarketingsecrets.com to submit your question and download your free 7-page report, again, titled 7 of the Most Powerful Marketing Strategies for Spiritual Practices in 2019. See you soon. Thank you for tuning in to 5D Marketing Secrets Radio. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. And if you'd like me to teach you 7 of the most powerful marketing strategies for spiritual business owners in 2019 free, then just go to 5dmarketingsecrets.com and simply download the full report. See you next time.